All right, here we are. It's the Bobbi Jo and Sheena show with me being Bobbi Jo and her being Sheena. We're just two friends having a conversation and we just love, we're mindset coaches and we just love and we're passionate about sharing this information that we talk about every day anyways. So we decided to just record ourselves. And today I think we're going to talk about what? Acknowledgement, the acknowledgement that I am. Who are you? What do you want to say about that, Sheena?
Well, yeah, no, one of the topics you've been talking about this month has been understanding. And that was the first thing. So, whenever I was trying to manifest, trying to be better, trying to get this, trying to get that, what I realized was that I was coming from a completely different perception of who I am. And if I think that I'm the mere, science has even proven that, they can't find us at all. They've searched the heavens, they've searched the earth, they've searched the inside and the outside of us, and they cannot find who we are. There is no me in here. And so what is showing is that we are the light, we are everything, we are the source of everything. But if you can make that look like this is the icon, the 0.001%, and this icon was trying to manifest millions, trying to manifest anything. And it worked for a little bit. It was like on, off. But then it was just like as if, no, something's not right here. And I had to go on a really long depth quest of literally finding out who I was. And in that was the 99.999999%. I don't even think it's that. I think it's even more than that, Bobbi Jo. I mean, we are not aware of a hell of a lot, to be honest.
We're not aware of the magic that we are. And let's back that up a little bit. When we're talking about the 99.999%, it's because now with technology, scientists are able to look at our atoms and look at who we are. And like that, the biology that we went through in high school, at least for me back in the 80s, is completely different from what they thought then. And now they can really see that these atoms are 99% energy and there's only this 0.001% that's the matter of us. So that's us collectively. So we are this energy. And it's Dr. Bruce Lipton. I remember I went and saw him last November, and he kind of talked about, it's like a TV set. These are TVs. Our bodies are just a TV, and sometimes it breaks, but that signal's still there. We are still these beings, we're just this energy. But we're taught from the day we're born to think a certain way. And we don't expect the miracles that, and everything that can happen, that we are energy. That was a good movie that we watched back there during COVID. What, Your Thoughts Become Things? Was that it?
Yeah, high thoughts become things. Yeah.
That was good. So I'm going to plug little Sheena because I just got my Amazon. This is Sheena's book, Switch to Rich, the Secret to Happiness. Way to go, girl. I can't wait. And Sheena's coming over here. She's coming across the big pond to America this summer. So I just barely got to look at it. But, I liked what you said here and acknowledge. And it wasn't profound, but it's like this wrongness was the basis of my vibration, which meant that no matter how positive I was in my mindset, I had the vibration of lack. And that is what's going on here, that so many people were trying to get something outside of ourselves that we authentically don't even want ourselves. We're just kind of wanting it because of the programming that we've been in, the society that we live, the house, the car, we see something enough times. We all want the white Mercedes now, So with a Louis Vuitton bag. So it's just that conditioning, but it really is acknowledging, but who are we? And I've said it before too, Sheena, like that diamond in the rough, that we just got to get down to this light. And that's who I am. I know love. I had some speaker come into Unity yesterday. She's from Thailand originally, but she's been here 40 years and she runs the meditation center in Alabama here in Mobile. And she just said there was so much love in that place. She could just feel it because that's what it comes down to. How are we treating each other? And with that meditation, you let go of everything else, because you did say that in your book too, that we're so busy that we can't hear anything new.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's what I did with my life. I mean, I was just like constantly busy. And I remember doing a training program one time, and I was talking about people that taking time out. And she goes, I do take time out. I mean, I'm very mindful. I spend 30 minutes a day in my mindfulness. And I'm like, do you hear what you're saying? Like, so in 24 hours, well, first of all, you might be sleeping 8 of them, but the rest of the time you give yourself half an hour of being mindful about what you're doing. The rest of the time we're in our program. The eye can't see herself. So I couldn't see me. And it was only from putting in all this information, you put it in, that this stuff started to come out. And it would be like that wrongness was... I felt the vibration. I just literally could feel it going along and just going, oh my goodness, that's what it is, And if I'm trying to manifest from the 0.001%, I'm like on the ground floor of this big, massive building, and I am only seeing what's on the ground floor. And I'm trying to find out where to go, and I'm banging into everybody else and asking them, what's your opinion? What's your opinion? What's your opinion? Let me watch this YouTube. Let me do this course and all of that. But when you're in the 99%, when you start to rise up the levels, it's like you can be at the top of the building and you go, I want to go there. I want to go there. Can you see it, Bobbi Jo? Can you see it? And you'll be able to see it with me. But if you're on the ground floor and I'm on the top floor and I'm talking, you're not going to have a freaking clue what I'm saying. And that's what I understood about really acknowledging, well, am I identifying as the 99% or am I identifying as the 1%? But I am both. But where am I coming from? All that is, or this tiny, tiny version of Sheena that can only see what's in front of her, can only see what's happened, where am I coming from? And that's really, really important.
It's really small, that point, and you're saying that, like, it's just so small thinking. And and you said it though, it's exactly, we keep looking outside of ourselves and we don't. It's not outside. It's not in a new podcast, except for listen to ours, but it's not a new thing outside. I had a friend listen the other day. She's like, you two are funny. And she's like, I really don't listen to podcasts. And I'm like, I don't either. I listen to my own truths and how I feel and what resonates and feels good for me. You mentioned that mindfulness. That's what this talk was yesterday that this lady talked about. But mindfulness, you said, it's about being present. And how do we get there is with the breath. Like, you can't think of anything else if you're thinking about in, really full into the diaphragm and lungs, and then exhale. And that's the old yogi in me. I went to India like 12 years ago. And then also she talks about the non-judgmental. I mean, we can spend a whole day talking about that. But, that's another thing, to be non-judgmental of ourselves, because everything we're looking at other people, we said before, is just a reflection of ourselves. What's going on over there?
You hear the doors.
You can hear, it's all good. There's one thing I wanted to say. So when you're upstairs on that top floor and I'm running around down below, I can't hear you because I'm not tuned into it. And it makes me think of this little story about two men walking down, a busy street like New York City. And the man stops, but all of a sudden, I'll just keep talking over them. There you go. Mute yourself. Just mute yourself. I'll tell the story.
I don't know how to mute myself.
At the very bottom, I see it, but that's cool. The two men are walking and the man stops his friend and says, oh, listen. Do you hear that cricket? And his friend's like, what? How did you hear that amongst all the city people and buses and things going around? So the man took out a few pieces of coin when we used to carry cash around, and he threw it into the street and it went ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. And instantly a lot of people stopped and looked around. And he says, see, we hear what we are listening for. And so I'd be running around down below listening for your call up there, girl. That's what I would be doing. Listening to you. You have to unmute yourself. But we train ourselves what we're listening for. What are we seeing in our life? We're training to see. You're going to see the bad, you're going to find it. But if you can recondition your mind and the way you think and start expecting these miracles, you start listening, you start seeing what you expect, you will find it. A lot of times we're just training ourselves, though, to go, see, I knew I'd get a flat tire. Or, see, I told you, this always happens to me, What's the story?
And that's one of the things that I heard Bashar talking about, who's a channeler. And he was saying about, like, when you're looking at the ego and the spiritual side of you, is that actually they're supposed to work together. So many times you have people saying, like, kill the ego, but the ego is kept us alive. The ego is, and if we try to destroy it, that's where the fight comes in. It's about understanding what the job of the ego is. And he was saying that, all the ego is supposed to do is keep our focus, just like you're saying there, Bobbi Jo. What are you focusing on? And then it will. You want something something, focus on it, and then the spirit, the 99%, will bring it. But if you're here, well, you're getting everything, but then if you're looking behind you, you'll get that as well. You'll get that in your future. And so many people are bringing yesterday into tomorrow, today. So we're not even living today. So that acknowledgement that, listen, you're just a front end screen. You're just supposed to focus on what you want. Oh, I remember when Bob would say that, he would say, just ask the question, what do you want? I just go, but it's more than that, Bob. It's more than that. And he goes, no, it's not. It's just, what do you want? Focus on it and don't take your eye off it.
Yeah.
But not so much that you're hanging on to it for dear life, because then that's lack as well, because you're like trying to literally strangle it to death and hold it down. I was talking to my clients about what I saw thoughts were like. Thoughts are like you're in a busy street and there's loads and loads of people, and you've got these thoughts passing you, like people passing you. Now, if there was a person that you didn't like, would you like wrestle them to the ground and beat them up and just go, no, you shouldn't exist, and just beat them up? You wouldn't do that. You would just let it walk on past. And similarly, Bo, if you saw somebody that you did like you would smile and say hi. But, you wouldn't hang on to their ankles and just go, no, don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me. And that's when you get that visual, don't you? And then we go, oh my God, I do that with my thoughts. I wrestle them or I hang on to them, rather than just letting them walk past and recognizing, what am I focusing on? And if I saw something I liked, well, I can see it in my imagination and I can just keep hold of it there. But then I can feel the feeling and just wallow in the feeling of what I want, rather than wallowing in the feeling of what I don't want. But again, it all comes down to, who are you? Who do you think you are? Are you identifying as the 1%, or are you identifying as the 99%? It's literally focus. For me, it was constantly focusing on that. And some people say, I remember in Arbonne, one girl said, this is the order of life: God, family, Arbonne.
Yeah.
And that really got me. I mean, I heard that about 6 years ago, and I was like, what? I don't really get that. But this God that we're talking about is a frequency, is the source of all that is the infinite intelligence of all that is, that you are. And focus on that first and foremost. And that's been the biggest change for me anyway.
Yeah, but when you do, that's a whole other chapter right there. You're going into your values. There was this great book I kind of came across at a Goodwill, Women of Influence, and it kind of talks about that. How do you value your life? Where do you put yourself? And typically we put ourselves after the kids, the job, and everything else. But the other thing is to put this presence first, to put this energy first, that we are this energy, this 99%. A lot of people don't talk this way. This is why Sheena and I are here together. We love talking about this stuff, because we're all the same, made of the same formless substance, as Wallace Wattles likes to talk about. And that's the whole movie, that The Secret. Everyone's like, ooh, The Secret, right? Wallace Wattles, he calls it formless substance. And when I said that to some clients, they're like, oh, that makes sense, to think of it more like energy here than this God that we all grew up fearing somewhere up in heaven is Jesus's dad, We all have that, no matter where we grew up. You grew up in North Ireland, so a lot going on there. So it's about acknowledging yourself, that you are this creative being, that you are wonderful. And that's where we have the trick here, and we're going to be getting off, is that just start listening a little bit every day. Start making those small tweaks, 1% every day. And I've said this, like a ship going out to go see Sheena over in England. But if I change that course 1%, I'm going to end up in Africa by the time it's over. So you just keep listening to us a little bit every day, this 10, 15 minutes. You change that course in a year, you're going to be thinking different. So that's the programming we're doing right now. Start having the awareness, acknowledgement today that you are this beautiful I am presence.
That's absolutely beautiful. And there's nothing more else that I could actually put to that. So, for me, it's thank you very much for another day and listening to us.
See you soon.
There we go. Goodbye now.